Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. Today, we are doing NFL predictions. It's back everybody, we are doing them again. It's been a while since we did these predictions, but we're doing it different this year. So, but in a different way, we're doing it on a tier list to make it a little bit more easier than how we did it last year. I mean, I know we did week predictions, but I kind of made edits of players. While I had floor and ceiling, I didn't give like a real prediction last year because we were just getting in the hang of things. But this time, I got really early NFL predictions. But first, how this goes, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about how the offseason went and then we're gonna talk about how these games are gonna go, how I think they're gonna go, and who's gonna get the win, who's gonna take L's, and have the record predicted at the end of the video. So, with that being said, first, let's see how the Bengals offseason did. So, we've signed Mike Gesicki into the offseason to help with that tight end depth. We had Tanner Hudson. He's only done a little bit on the field. Irv Smith Jr. We really kind of used a whole bunch of our tight ends last year. Irv Smith betrayed us and went to the Chiefs, but really didn't do much for the season. He only did a little bit against the Bills, and that was like the only highlight of him. And yeah, other than that, we were still using our tight ends pretty normally though. Like we would use them here and there with Drew Sample and Tanner Hudson, and now we got Mike Gesicki, which is gonna probably turn into a big weapon for Burrow. And I think that's gonna come in really good for us. I like that pick from the Bengals. Also, sorry about these ads at the top. They're so annoying. But yeah. And then the next thing, we got Zach Moss. We lost Joe Mixon. I mean, I don't know how I feel about losing Joe Mixon yet, and Zach Moss as a Bengal now, as he's going to be our starting running back. But then again, if you really think about it, Joe Mixon didn't. I mean, he's a good running back. He's super good, but he's really had a bouncy these last two seasons. He's really had down years, and he's also aging a little bit. I won't lie. So, and for running backs, it's really hard to play that position when you're like 8,000 years old. But Joe Mixon ain't that old, but he still had some what how do you call it? Like some numbers going down for him. Obviously not a good thing, but then you also got guys like Zach Moss, and we do have Chase Brown coming in. Well, we already had Chase Brown, but I think this is gonna be an underrated duo, honestly. I like what the Bengals did because we have Chase Brown. He's got speed. Zach Moss, he's still got it in him. I believe he can do it. I don't know if he can be the number one on our team, but we're probably going to utilize both of those running backs and use them quite well. And Burrow's and our team honestly is a throwing like a passing team because Burrow's on our team. Obviously, we're going to pass a million times. We're not going to really run that much, but still it helps to have those two. And then we also got Von Bell coming back from the Carolina Panthers after leaving us. He went to Carolina and he said, okay, nope. And he came back to us, so I like that. And we also got Geno Stone. Now, that is a big steal for the Bengals on defense. That's really good. I think that's going to be a nice pick for us on the defensive end. It should help out with some of the depth in the defense and fill in some holes for us. And then, obviously, losing guys like Tyler Boyd, too. I mean, but also, we drafted Jermaine Burton, which has been Burrow's one of his favorite targets in practice so far, from what I've seen, honestly. And, like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tyler Boyd, yeah, he's good, but, I mean, setting up for the future, too, is also another good thing. So, and we got T. Higgins. He is staying with us for another year. Probably going to be our final year. with him. So that's kind of depressing, but we'll try to get the most out of him this season. Well, they will. And then drafted Amarius Mims. I love that pick. I know a lot of Bengals fans were trying to like being mad about it because yes, I get getting a good wide receiver in the first round because Tyler Boyd left, but you also can get there's more rounds too. Obviously, picking Jermaine Burton out of the third round, and you see how that's going right now with Burrow and him. All automatically going to be a weapon on the field. Probably going to have 1,000 yards receiving. And getting an O-line for Burrow is honestly best because this man has been sacked so many times. It's about dang time he gets a freaking O-line. And now we also got Trent Brown too. And we should have a really good offensive line. And hope Orlando Brown Jr. can actually block for once. And then got Chris Jenkins. I don't know. That's going to be a little bit of a weird pick, but we'll see what he can do on the field on defense too. But yeah, now that I think we got everything settled about talking about these guys, let's think about what the season is. So starting off here first, we got week 1, New England at the Cincinnati Bengals. Week 1. I think the Bengals are going to come out with a win here. I mean, I honestly think the win against what will probably be Drake May or a Jacoby Brissett. You know, Drake May, yes, he's probably going to be the future of New England. But if you look at the team, or you look at the receiving core around him, that's not going to be easy, especially the running back core too. So that's not going to be easy for him or Jacoby Brissett in this case. So we could be getting a rookie Drake May in his first game against us, or we can put Jacoby Brissett. And either way, I'm going to take Cincinnati to get the dub week 1. And y'all will probably see on the screen. I'll think about it, but wait, never mind. I'm not going to tell y'all. Never mind. I'm not going to tell y'all what I had thinking of. Nah, I'm not going to tell y'all. But next game, we got week 2. Bengals at Chiefs. Oh my God. Why is it so early in the season, though? That's crazy how this game is so early in the season. But Bengals at Chiefs, man, I don't know, bro. I don't know. This is a tough game. Obviously, Burrow has Mahomes' number, but it's a whole new season. You know, just for the fact, I mean, just because they got Xavier Worthy and stuff, I'm not gonna be super over the top for the Chiefs. He did have some issues too. Rashee Rice, who knows what the heck's going on with that man? He might not even play next season. Hollywood Brown, he's getting old. I don't think that's a good pick, honestly, for the Chiefs. But I think it's going to be solid. He's still got speed, but he's probably not going to catch as much as Rashee and Xavier. But just because Burrow has Mahomes' number, I'm going to take Cincinnati to win against Patrick Mahomes and the stupid Kansas City Chiefs. Because I think Burrow owns Mahomes, and he will continue to do that week 2. The next game, I think this is a weird game. Yeah, this is a weird game. Jaden Daniels versus Joe Burrow. 2 LSU quarterbacks going at it. But if you think about it, this is not a good game because the Bengals have more stuff to this game than everybody thinks. I think the Bengals are going to win this game automatically. Just because, shoot, you might not even see Jaden Daniels play in this game. You might see whoever the heck their backup is, but I doubt it. I think Jaden Daniels is going to automatically start. But this is going to be his 3rd game if that's the case. Or even his first. It could be his first. They might just start somebody for the first 2 weeks and then start him. That's if he's ready, but I think he's going to be ready. This man's always fired up. But again, it's kind of like the Drake May situation. He doesn't really have much around him on the receiving core. Yes, Terry McLaurin, but they lost Curtis Samuel. They got Jahan Dotson. I mean, Terry hasn't had really that good of he hasn't been that explosive anymore. And we barely see any Jahan highlights anymore either. So I'm gonna take the Bengals to win there too. We're gonna start the season 3-0. Okay, 3-0 season start. And then we got Carolina getting Brooks. I mean, I don't know how I feel about the Panthers this year. I just think Bryce Young is a bum. I hate to say it, but I think he's just one of those guys that everybody overhyped him gonna be good, but in the NFL, but like him being one of those quarterbacks, he's just not. He's just not gonna be good. That's what I feel. Yes, it's early, and I know it's early in his years. I know last year was his first season. He had a terrible season. He had a bad team, bad offensive line. He had Adam Thielen. He hit Adam Thielen for a lot of stuff, but he also got injured and stuff too. And he is short. I'm gonna have to put short. Being short in the NFL is probably a big factor too. So I'm gonna take the Bengals to win against them too. I don't like Bryce Young. Bryce Young is just a big bum to me. I don't hate him. It's just I don't think he's good. That's it. Next game we got is week 5 against the Ravens and Bengals. I'm gonna have to take the Ravens here. Just because I know we like to split a lot. And it's in Cincinnati too though. But I'm gonna take the Ravens here. I think just because I really can't decide if who's gonna win these matchups since we play twice. I think Ravens are gonna win this game, and if you guys hear anything in the background, that's my dad and mom. So yeah, I think Ravens win this game because we like to split a lot. So there you go. I'll give Ravens the edge for that. So we're 4-1 now. Going to the next game, Bengals at Giants. Who set up this schedule? Who said we're gonna be 11-6, bro? Like we're not gonna be 11-6 with this schedule. This is just pure torture to the NFL. They want us to win. They're actually giving us a chance, honestly. And like, if everybody's healthy, I mean, this is the dominant season right here. So I'm going off by everybody being healthy, by the way, too. So the Bengals and Giants, Daniel Jones, who the heck knows who's playing quarterback there. Malik Neighbors is going to be the only good guy on that team when he's already a rookie. So, I don't know. I think Bengals are going to win that game. I mean, by a lot because the Giants suck. I mean, they truly do. They lost Saquon, too. And nothing gets better for them. Next up, got the Bengals at Browns. Browns usually have our number in or even at home. We had bad performances in the past against them, but I think sometimes we have good performances. We haven't really had a good performance in Cleveland, so I'll give Bengals the W there. And like Deshaun Watson, I don't know about him. He's just kind of like a quarterback. I don't know if he's gonna get back to his form, Browns fans. I am just saying that right now. I don't think he's getting back to his form. So I think it might be time to move on to a new quarterback after this season or even next season. Who knows? They might try to keep him for another 2 years and still try to figure it out because that's how the Browns are. So I'll give the Bengals a W there too. 6-1. Next up, you got the Eagles. Okay, this is a tough pick. You got the Eagles and the Bengals. This is a fun fact. I think we're going to be going to this game here. Eagles at Bengals. So, because my sister likes the Eagles and I like the Bengals. So, we're going to go to Cincinnati. But yeah, that's besides the point. This is a really good matchup. This might be the best one of the year. Jalen Hurts, Burrow going at it for the first time ever. And, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, A.J. Brown, Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, T. Higgins, it's all there. Good matchups on defense, too. But I somehow think, just because I believe in Burrow is better than Hurts, so I'm going to take Burrow to win that game, too. And I know I'm a Bengals fan. I got to try to be somewhat real here, okay? I got to be real. So and I'm actually being serious, too. I think this is how the Bengals schedule is going to go. The next game, though, Raiders at Bengals. Okay. Hear me out. Gardner Minshew. People say the Raiders are going to be terrible this year. Gardner Minshew is a quarterback. He could play football, guys. Come on. He's got weapons, too. Y'all forgetting. He got Bowers. He's got Adams now. And he's got Jacoby Myers. Now, since the Bengals like to lose some of these games, I'm going to have to take the Raiders to beat us. I know, it's kind of a little weird. Yeah, whatever. I hate picking against my team, but it just feels like one of those games where it's going to happen. It's going to have to happen sooner or later. We're going to lose some of these games. We can't win them all. And I think the Raiders have a good defense, too, so they might keep Burrow in check for the half of the game. But, yeah, I don't know. Next game, we got Bengals at Ravens again. I'm going to take the W on this one for the Bengals. You know, we usually struggle to beat Baltimore in Baltimore, but I think we're going to do it this time. I think they're going to beat us at home, and we're going to beat them at home. So, Bengals get the win there. Burrow's better than Lamar Jackson. I don't want to hear it. And then we got Bengals and Chargers. Bengals and Chargers. Bengals, obviously. I mean, yeah, Justin Herbert's good and all, but he don't have receivers. That's the biggest thing. Dude's got Hayden Hurst to throw to and Landon McConkey. And that's it. And Quentin Johnson don't know how to catch. This is a horrible Chargers team right now. Yes, they did get... Who did they get again? Wait. They did get Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. They stole the whole Ravens running back room. But I still think the Chargers are not going to be that good this year. They're probably going to be like a 7-6 win team this year. Even when, I mean, Justin Herbert's obviously going to get him some wins, but yeah, it's not going to be good. And then we go on the bye week for week 12, so nothing to talk about here. Blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to be playing the Steelers at home. See, the Steelers are such a weird team. They got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Who the heck knows who's going to win that? They lost Deontay Johnson. They don't have much of an offense. I still don't like their offense. That's the biggest thing. But I think the Bengals will win this game against Pittsburgh at home, coming off the bye week. Feeling pretty good. They're going to keep feeling pretty good. And then, this is where unexpected things go. This is where I have to be really true, okay? Bengals at Cowboys. I know Cowboys are probably going to be a little bit worse this year, just because I think they're going to take a little step down. I mean, it's Super Bowl or nothing at this point for the season. I mean, honestly, because they're not showing up in the postseason or nothing. So I'm going to have to say they're going to have to win some games. They're going to have to win some tough games. We all know Dallas is still going to be a really tough team to play, and I'm going to give this game to Dallas here, okay? Dallas fans cannot get mad. Our Bengals fans can't get mad because us Bengals fans know we're going to lose some of these games. And also, speaking of the week 2 and week 1 start, since Burrow's in practice already now, I think we're going to be just fine. We're not going to start things off slow. We're going to start things off hot. That's what I'm basically trying to say. And then we're going to the Titans here. The thing is, I don't know about the Titans. The Titans this year, it's all up to Will Levis at this point. Okay? It's Will Levis or nothing. And they got DeAndre Hopkins. You know, they got Calvin Ridley now. That's still good. But they're all aging. Tyler Boyd they got, but he's not really aging just yet. But I do think the Titans can beat us. And the Titans usually, I don't know. It's something with the Titans. There's something with this game that just tells me we're going to lose. So we're going to have back-to-back losses here. I'm going to take the Titans to win the game. The next game. Man, this is going to be an hour and 20-minute video. I already know it. Because I got to predict the other 3 AFC North teams. And where this is only 20 minutes in one. We're playing the Browns at home. You know, honestly, I think it's unexpected for us to sweep them. But I think we're going to get a nice clean sweep over the Browns here. I like a nice little clean sweep over them. Then we're going to play Denver. Another interesting game here. The Broncos, late season game. They're probably going to want to win. There's no point in winning, so why would they try to win? If the Bengals are trying to At this point, the Bengals trying to go after the 1 seed. So why would they want to lose? So they're gonna try their best against the Broncos team that really doesn't need to win. So I'm gonna take the Bengals here to win against the Broncos. And yeah, we're gonna play Steelers week 18. This will probably depend on the number 1 seed, or it might not. It might just be already number 1 seed contention. So I see this either two ways. Either we get the 1 seed or we don't. So either we don't have to win this game and we just lose it, or still win it, or we win this game. I mean, anything could happen. I'm gonna take us to win this game. I mean, even with our backups, Jake Browning, I mean, he's still good. So if he goes against the Steelers, he could beat the Steelers. But yeah, it's in Pittsburgh though. So, but I don't know. Pittsburgh might not even be in contention at this point for playoffs, so they might not even have to win. But they might want to try to stop us from winning. But yeah, that's the end of the Bengals schedule, guys. There's your prediction for the Bengals schedule. 13-4 it is. And we're going to head up to the the Cleveland Browns schedule next. Okay, so now is the Cleveland Browns schedule. But first, we got to talk about what they did in the offseason. Honestly, there wasn't really much in the offseason I caught on my eye that was big. Apart from, Joe Flacco being him, leaving. I think he went to the Colts or something now. Yeah, I just don't know. But the Browns' biggest thing, honestly, they got Jerry Jeudy. That's a big pick for them. But I don't know about it because Deshaun Watson is not going to be himself this year. And the Browns really have one of the hardest schedules in the NFL to me. And I really think they ain't going to win many games this year. And also having Nick Chubb, coming off one of the biggest injuries. He's coming back. We'll see how he looks. I think he's going to really start things off slow, though. And then maybe get a little bit better. But I don't know how Nick Chubb's going to look after that big injury. And then they also drafted Michael Hall Jr. and Zach Zinter. I don't really know about those picks. I mean, those are low draft picks. A second rounder, a low second rounder, and a low third rounder. They didn't really have draft picks. They couldn't really do much this offseason except sign Jerry Jeudy and draft those two guys. But anyways, that's all I really got to say because there ain't much the Browns did this offseason. Oh, and speaking of week 1, the only two teams that really haven't did anything in the offseason. We got the Cowboys at the Browns. The Cowboys, like I said, they're going to be a really tough team this year. They're not going to be that tough. But they're still going to be a tough team. But I think the Cowboys have a little bit of a rough schedule this year. And I think they're going to start losing some games to these guys. But in this case, I don't see that happening. I think the Cowboys win week 1 against Cleveland. I just don't see Deshaun Watson beating the Cowboys anytime soon with that defense. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Next game, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars and Cleveland in Jacksonville. Another team that's going to be a little bit weird. They have Gabe Davis. They got that one rookie receiver, and they also still got Christian Kirk. Not going to be a terrible offense. They got ETN, they got Evan Ingram. Everybody's forgetting they got those guys too. And I think they're going to have a solid offensive line this year and an okay defense. So, to me, this is a matched up game for Cleveland. Although, I do think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to also beat the Browns in Jacksonville. I mean, it's going to be in Jacksonville. So, yeah, Trevor Lawrence, I still believe in him. So, Jacksonville gets the W over Cleveland. Cleveland starts 0-2. But this is where things change. The Giants at Browns, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I think the Giants are only going to win like 3 games. So I'm going to give the win to Cleveland here. They'll start at 1-2 now. Daniel Jones, not really going to be... I don't think he's going to be that good this year. And I still don't think he's going to be that guy. I mean, I had a lot of hopes for him after winning that playoff game. But ever since then, I don't think I have any more hopes after that. I think that was just the crazy season he had, and yeah, and I think he's washed now. Cleveland heading to Vegas. Like I said, guys, everybody's got to listen. They still got Zamir White. I think they're trying to. I heard rumors they're trying to trade up for Damian Pierce. I mean, that will help with some of the running back room depth. But Zamir White, I believe in that dude so much. They got Avante Adams, Myers. Remember, they got those weapons. They just got Bowers. They got Gardner Minshew. He can throw the ball. They got a good defense. Got a nice offensive line. I think the Raiders could be really scary this year. I honestly think they could, if any team could win that division other than the Chiefs, I think it might be the Raiders that could win it. Or it's obviously the Raiders that could win it. But I don't know if they're going to win the division. We'll see in future predictions how I think that's going to turn out. But for now, I think the Raiders are going to win this game too. And the Browns are going to start at 1-3. Next game you got is the Commanders and Browns in Washington. You know, rookie Jaden Daniels, they're going to have some struggles early. But I think they're going to start getting good toward the end of the season. Probably after this game, maybe. And I think the Browns win that game too. They're going to be 2-3. Next up, you got the Browns going to Philly. Obviously, Philly's going to be a hard-hitting team. If Nick Sirianni ain't good this year, well, I think he's still going to be a good coach. But I don't know about the Eagles. I mean, they really had a phenomenal draft. They also got Saquon Barkley. You remember that, too. So, yeah, they're going to run over the Browns. They're going to pass all over the Browns. So, I think the Browns lose this game, too. They start 2-4. Then they're going to be at home to Cincinnati. Like I said, Burrow, Deshaun Watson. I mean, Watson is getting older too. But he's also not getting back in his form. He's been getting injured. We don't even know what he's going to look like at this point anymore. You know, Nick Chubb, usually the Bengals have his number sometimes. Sometimes he don't. Sometimes we do. But if we do have his number, I think the Bengals will come out with the win here. And the Browns start 2-5. And then you got the Ravens and Browns. You know, kind of an interesting game. I usually see these guys split in two. But I'm gonna give it to the Ravens here in Cleveland. Just because I think the Ravens are a better team than the Browns. And I think it's weird how some of these AFC North teams like to beat themselves at away games. Like they like to lose at away games against their rivals. And I see the Browns doing that too. For the next game, you got the Chargers and Browns. Oh, God. Okay. Do we really need to talk about this right now? This is just the weirdest matchup I would predict ever. Do I take the Chargers to upset the Browns, or do I take the Browns to beat the Chargers? I don't know who to pick here. This is a toss-up because Justin Herbert, better quarterback already. The running backs in LA, they can run over the Browns. Lennon McConkey, who knows? I just don't know about that receiving room with the Chargers. I don't know how that's going to go. They're definitely not going to be making a Super Bowl run. Neither is the Browns, I don't think, unless Deshaun Watson turns into a little god on the field. I think I'm going to give the edge to Cleveland here. Okay? Cleveland starts at 3-6. They're at their bye week feeling like they're feeling like they want to end the season already. But it's not over yet. As they go to the Saints, which I think the Saints are going to be terrible because Derek Carr's older. He's kind of turning into a bust. Alvin Kamara, he's not getting any younger either. And the defense is slowly aging. Offensive line, Chris Olave's good. But yeah, other than that, I think Cleveland gets this win against New Orleans. They go 4-6. Their season's looking up. Then the Browns play the Steelers. I'll give it to the Browns. They like to split a lot. I don't like the Steelers that much this year. I'll give it to the Browns. Now look at the Browns. They're 5-6. They look like they're going to be going somewhere. As they face Denver. Here, upset alert, everybody. Upset alert. Upset alert here. I taken Denver over Cleveland. I think Denver, Denver's going to get some little bit of some weird wins here. Cleveland, I don't think they're going to be that good this season. They're going to be an F team this year, I'm telling y'all. So I'm going to take Denver here to win this game. So now Cleveland's going to be 5-7, I think. Yeah, 5-7. Then they're going to play the Pittsburgh again. I think they split. Pittsburgh probably ends Cleveland's season here. They go 5-8. Then, Bo Nix. Let's talk about this Broncos game a little bit more. Bo Nix, he's gonna win some games. I think Bo Nix is a good pick for the Broncos, but in the first round, it's kind of like why would you pick that in the first round type situation? But they're the Broncos. They Bronco everything up. Broncos country, let's die. And they still got an okay running back. They still got Cortland Sutton. I don't hate the defense either. Their offensive line might suck this year, though. That's one thing I think is going to suck. Tight end room might not be that good. Right, receiver depth might be a little bit of a, okay. But yeah, I think Bo Nix will get a win over that. And like I said, they're gonna lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now they cannot lose a single game to get into the postseason. They're in this situation. So, what's this mean? So they're going to Kansas City is coming to Cleveland. A couple years ago, these guys had a battle in the playoffs with Baker Mayfield. They still want to get their revenge over Kansas City, since the Browns do not know how to beat Kansas City either. They're one of those teams. But Cleveland, they like to have these weird games. Okay, they like to just come out of nowhere and just start beating these really good teams. Just for no reason. Like, they want to be super competitive out of nowhere. And I think Chiefs are going to end up losing here against Cleveland. I think... How the heck am I still getting notifications? Okay, that just made me mad. But, yeah, anyways. Yeah, the Chiefs... I think they're going to lose some of these games. And... I think the Browns defense might have the Mahomes locked up for this game. I think Deshaun Watson might throw for 4 touchdowns this game. For revenge, too. I think it's because... I think why they're going to beat the Chiefs this year is because I think Deshaun Watson is going to just... Patrick Mahomes' face just going to remind him what happened last time in the playoffs. And he's just going to turn into a god. And then... Yeah, and then after that week, he's just going to... In Cincinnati. But... Yeah, Cleveland wins that game against Kansas City. Upset game. Deshaun Watson revenge game. They go 6-8. Now they still gotta win all these games to make the playoffs, but what team back in 2022, guys? In the 2022 and 2023 regular season, what team knocked out the Cleveland Browns from playoff hopes? And where was it at? It was in Cincinnati, right? And Cleveland was losing and lost to us, and we eliminating them, right? It's going to happen again. Sorry, Cleveland. We get more revenge. We get a clean sweep. Yep. Playoff chances are eliminated for the Browns. They are going to have a losing record this year. So nothing to contend for anymore. So boom. 6-9 record right there. And then they're going to go play the Dolphins. At home, nothing really to play for anymore. You got eliminated by Cincinnati early or late in the season. So, I say Dolphins win that game. Dolphins are probably in a bigger or a more needy situation. Because I think the Dolphins, the Dolphins still going to be good. Tua, Tyreek. But, I shouldn't say Tua, because we still got to see more in Tua. Because, he's got to at least throw the ball 50 yards downfield. Definitely not making a joke from the Kansas City wild card game. I'm just kidding. But yeah, still, he's got to be more better on the field. He's got to still stay healthy. He's got to have a playoff experience. He's got to start it off. But yeah, other than that, I think they beat the Cleveland Browns. And then you got the Browns at Ravens. Last game of the season. It's been a boring season. And yeah, everything is come down to the wire. And yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it for the Browns. But I think they just want to play for fun with their backups. They might play with backups this game. Well, actually, no. They probably play starters still. But I think the Browns and Ravens matchups always get cool. They always get heated up. They always get fun. They always get really crazy. I think the Browns beat the Ravens. And yeah, that is the end of the Browns playoff prediction. I have a record of 7-10 for Cleveland this year, with a non-needing a winless. I don't know how you say it, but yeah, a win that wasn't needed at the end too. So you might as well say 6-10, but yeah, we'll just say 7-10. Yeah. So yeah, moral of the story: Deshaun Watson, stop getting massages and stop massaging people or whatever. Or don't massage people and don't give massages. Anyways, yeah. Next is going to be the Steelers schedule. Okay, now starting with the Steelers schedule now. We got the so what they did, I don't know, man. The Steelers this year, I'm not feeling the vibe with them. You know, obviously they got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and Patrick Queen and Van Jefferson. But that also comes with some losses. Well, not really. I mean, it's just honestly, they really got some O-line depth in the draft. I like that, but they really desperately need a receiver, and I don't think Russell Wilson's gonna be good this year. I mean, give it to him. He's old and that, and he just doesn't really have it in him anymore, and I don't think he will this year with Steelers country. Let's weld. Yeah, I ain't gonna. But yeah, getting Troy, I don't know how to say his other part of his name, and Zach Frazier in the draft for some O-line depth. I like that, but they also did get Roman Wilson, which I like that pick. Obviously, losing Deontay Johnson to the Panthers, though, and then but they obviously got Patrick Queen, which is a big thing for the Steelers defense. But it's either Steelers country or nothing. But I honestly think they're gonna have a bad season. I predicted this like 3 times in a row, but I think this is the year where they have the bad season. Just because their receiving core is basically what? It's gonna be George Pickens, which he honestly, yes, he's good when he gets the ball, but sometimes he could just fumble or just drop that ball without sometimes he just has hard hands and just doesn't want to catch it. That's probably gonna change this year, but they got who else? They got Roman Wilson. He's probably gonna be the second receiver now. And they got Van Jefferson, which we haven't really seen a highlight since 2021 of him. Yikes, that offense is not good. Not going to be good. Roman Wilson, though, that's a good pick. If he could turn into a big, big threat, this could be a scary Steelers team. Pat Freiermuth, they got him too. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, after the Bills lost in the wild card round to them, really didn't make any, it really didn't change anything because they got rid of Mason Rudolph, so. And they were winning with him, but I could see that he wasn't really going to be the starter still. Even with them winning, because it was only by low pointage. But then again, they don't have an offense. But, yeah, I just don't know about the Steelers, man. The Steelers are just a weird football team this year. And we're probably going to see Justin Fields in the second half of the season. Probably see Russell Wilson in the first half of the season. But if I'm the Steelers, I'm honestly starting Justin Fields first. Just because we already know Russell Wilson's old, so we don't think we're going to see him have it in him. It's kind of like the Deshaun Watson situation, but not exactly. With this is just being old and not trash. But I don't know. We'll see. But they're probably starting Russell Wilson first. So let's go through these games, everybody. So week 1, they're going to travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, which they got Arthur Smith also too with the Steelers. This is a Arthur Smith revenge game, and I think the Atlanta is gonna beat the crap out of the Steelers. I just don't think the Steelers. It's gonna be weird. The Steelers are just obviously gonna be weird. I mean, to me, they're probably the weirdest football team just because there's so many question marks of what people are gonna do on the team. What's Roman Wilson gonna do? What's the quarterback? Who's going to be the quarterback for half the season? It's just all confusion in Pittsburgh, and it's always been for a while. So, or ever since Ben left, or retired. But yeah, Falcons. I'm going to take the Falcons to win. I think they're going to be a nice team this year. I think they're going to be able to take down the Steelers at least. And I don't think Russell Wilson's going to be all that bad this year. I think it's just because he's getting old. I think he's going to be still throwing some dimes here and there, but I just don't believe in the Steelers wagon that much. Next, they're taking on the Broncos in Mile High. I'll take the Steelers to win this game. Like I said, Bo Nix is going to be in his first year. He's with a bad system right now. He's got a lot of lack of receiving core. Although Mims and Cortland Sutton is good. But the tight end and the third receiver is pretty much non-existent. I don't know who the Broncos tight end is, honestly. And yeah, I haven't done any research really on the other teams. I did the AFC North just to prepare for this video. So it might be a little bit until we see the next, which will be the AFC East next. But yeah, I just don't see the Broncos really doing much this year. I think it's really just to figure out how good Bo Nix will be with that team. Or just another year of tank, just to get another few weapons for him and that. And they can really start building their team around their quarterback. Next game you got is the Chargers in Pittsburgh. Okay, well, everybody's going to get mad because I'm going to pick this right now. I'm going to take the Chargers to win. Just because, Herbert is still going to win some games. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He is just around a terrible, terrible team right now. And it's just not good for him. Obviously, getting Land McConkey is huge, but we don't know what he's going to do with this receiving core. Quentin Johnson has rock hands, so he's not going to really be able to catch anything. They did get Hayden Hurst, though. That should be a nice weapon for him. And then also the Chargers defense is really just aging. It's kind of like the New Orleans Saints situation. But they also did get J.K. Dobbins and Gus, which they got injury running backs. But, that's normal in L.A. But I'm going to take the Chargers here to win and beat the Steelers. And the next game we got is the Steelers at Colts. Now, the Colts, I like the Colts this year. This is a heavy-hitting team this year. I think the Colts are going to be one of the best teams in the AFC. Just because I believe in Anthony Richardson. He's coming back, He did get injured last year for a whole season. But I do believe in this man. I think he's going to come back out here on the field and just start swinging that ball. He's going to show everybody he's a passer. Or he can be a passer. He's going to run all over the place. He's kind of like a Justin Fields. But he might be a better version of Justin Fields, so we don't know. But I think I'm going to take Indy here. I think the Steelers are going to start 1-3 here. Indianapolis wins the game. Next, this is upset alert right here, guys. Right here is upset alert. I'm already calling it. Dallas at Pittsburgh. Dallas at Pittsburgh. And these are the type of games you might see Justin Fields already. If Russell Wilson sucks, they're going to put Fields in. But I'm not sure. I'm sure Russell Wilson's still going to be playing till this time. Probably go after the bye week. That'd make sense. They just split the bye week with Russ in the first week of the things. And then give Justin Fields all these horrible games. But yeah, the Dallas game, this is an upset to me. I think Steelers come out here, win this game. We got to remember this Steelers defense is going to be locked in this season. Like always, TJ Watt, he's a monster on the field. So, no arguing about that. He's probably one of the best defenders in the league, apart from Myles Garrett and Nick Bosa. Well, Nick Bosa kind of had a down year, so we don't put him in the conversation just yet. But yeah, 2-3 to start the season. And we got the Raiders game. This is weird. Okay. Let's give the Steelers the W here. I think the Steelers are still capable of winning some of these hard games, you know. I don't think they're all going to be tough until we're going to be talking about the real downfall here after the bye week. So, yeah. Next game, you got the Jets and the Steelers. Oof, this is a tough game. Aaron Rodgers. That's the biggest question, though. If he's not going to be back to his form, I think the Steelers win this game. But if he is, I think Jets win this game. This is kind of a nice match game because you got two great defenses with O-lines that you don't know what's going to happen with them. Two old quarterbacks. It all makes sense, everybody. In a basic kind of receiving core. I think Jets win this game because I believe in Aaron Rodgers more than Russell Wilson at the moment. Even though Russ did actually have a nice, okay year with the Broncos, he just couldn't make it in the playoffs with them at 9-8 or 8-9 or whatever record that was they had. I think it was 9-8, but yeah, I think the Rodgers Jets beats the Steelers here. Okay, another upset here. Giants at Steelers. I'm calling it right now. Giants win this game. The Giants, they're going to win some of these games too. You know that, right? Everybody wins these games. You know, even if they're bad teams, they're going to win some of these games. They're going to want to win some games. And I think this is the Giants where they win. They just upset the Steelers right before the bye week on prime time. So, yeah. So, Giants win this game. I think Daniel Jones could probably get it done. We probably not even going to see Daniel Jones this season. Probably going to see Tommy DeVito. But Tommy DeVito, I like him a little bit. He's not terrible, and he's not really good. We haven't just seen much from him. We've seen nice flashes of him, though. But that's about it. But yeah, Tommy DeVito or Daniel Jones beats the Steelers here. And then they're going to go on a nice little bye week here. And come back to this horrible, horrible stretch of games. They're going to be literally playing all the rivals, plus the Eagles and Chiefs in Washington. That's murder right there. That's literally murder. So we're going to get at Washington. This is a tricky game here. I'm going to take Washington. You know, Jaden Daniels, he's going to win some of these games. He's still got Terry and Jahan Dotson. Let's be honest, guys. Their defense might not be that good this year or O-line, but they still got a nice run game. They still got a nice offense. I like the Commanders' offense this year, kind of. But I think that will just be enough to beat the Steelers. Jaden Daniels is going to have some of these explosive games this year with Harry and Jahan Dotson and Logan Thomas or Zach Ertz or whoever the heck is in that tight end room. But yeah, I think Washington comes out with the win and upsets Pittsburgh. Even though it's not really an upset. I mean, it's in Washington. The next game, Ravens at Steelers. Oof, okay. I'm going to take the Steelers here automatically, and this is why. The Steelers have the Ravens number. Everybody knows this. The Ravens, they don't have the Steelers number, really. The Steelers usually have their number all the time, and it's crazy how they just have their number every single season. And it's going to continue. They're probably going to split this year, but yeah, I just think the Steelers are going to beat the Ravens here. Next, you get the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh in Cleveland. Okay. Just because, you know what? They always split. We understand the Browns and Steelers always split too. We're going to give the Steelers a W here in Cleveland. It's always weird. It's always these weird games where you just win in Cleveland. Or, win in a rivalry's stadium. It always happens. We see it all the time. I think the Steelers are going to somehow flip I think the Browns and Steelers matchup is going to somehow flip. And the Browns are going to beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. And the Steelers are going to beat the Browns in Cleveland. So, Steelers beat the Browns. They go 5-6. They're looking pretty nice. Not for long, though. Next game you got is the Bengals Steelers in Cincinnati. I'm going to give the Steelers the L here. You know, they won 2 straight. Let's say they won 2 straight right here. They beat 2 tough teams for them. I think Cleveland's going to be matched up with Steelers pretty well, though. They pretty much are every season. But yeah, I think Bengals win this game. Everybody's, you know, I love how everybody's saying, oh, Burrow's just injury prone, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I don't even care. They can say that, but guess what? You know, he's not injury prone. Man has a bad offensive line. He's had a bad offensive line ever since coming into this league. And everybody just wants to blame him for it. I mean, it's not even his fault. It's the offensive line's fault. But we fixed them problems. And you know what? Everybody's like saying we're going to be bad without Tyler Boyd and whoever else left. I forgot who else left. It was somebody. Oh, and Joe Mixon. If you really look at our room, Jermaine Burton is going crazy with Burrow right now. And I just saw practice this. I just saw another highlight of them this morning. They are going to tear up the league. So is T. Higgins. If it's all saying, all that needs to happen is Jamar Chase and Burrow need to stay healthy for the whole season. They can't miss a single game. That's it. Well, they can't miss one game, but that's about it. I mean, that's just it. So everybody, don't doubt the Bengals, because like if you look at their room, they got Zach Moss and Chase Brown, too. They could split running with them. We all know how the Bengals do this stuff, guys. Come on. But yeah, Bengals win that game. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. I think this is where Cleveland beats Steelers. It happens a lot. Like I said, it's going to be a split. No matter what. Steelers are going to lose to Cleveland here. Go 5-8. Then they're going to take on Philadelphia. I'm going to give this a W. This is a big upset right here. This game is an upset. Oops. Oh, shoot. I got to change my keyboard to fancy stuff. But, yeah, this is an upset right here. I think Steelers beat the Eagles here. You know, you like to see these games always get upsets. Actually, no. You know what? Change that. We're going to give the Eagles the W here. Because I have a different upset game for this, so yeah, I have a different game that they're going to upset. Okay, so Eagles win that game. I mean, Eagles, oh my god, they got stacked this year, man. I mean, who the heck lets them get this stacked every year? Like, before the draft and free agency, I was like, Eagles are definitely not going to, like, go crazy this year. I mean, they got so many players already. They literally draft 2 of the best people in the league, or in the draft. And they got Saquon Barkley. That's literally a W offseason already. But anyways, yeah. Ravens are going to eliminate the Steelers from playoff chances here. They're going to go 6-9 here against Baltimore. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, tough. I mean, the stretch is just ridiculous. I mean, who set up this schedule, man? I feel bad for the Steelers at this point. They're going to have no chance against their bye week. After their bye week, they're playing all 6 games of the AFC North. And then the Eagles and Chiefs on top of that. I mean, that's just ridiculous. You're asking to go 0-8. Literally. Okay, this is the upset game here. Kansas City loses to Pittsburgh here. I think Kansas City is going to lose to some of these AFC North teams. I'm not saying they're bad. I mean, I have Kansas City's record at like 11-6 or 12-5 probably, but I'm not sure yet. The prediction video will come out very soon. It will come out after the AFC East and the AFC South video will come out first. But I think Kansas City matches up pretty well here with the AFC North games. But I think Steelers are going to upset. You know, Kansas City's going to have some upset games too. So Pittsburgh wins that game in an upset. And in the last game of the season, Pittsburgh loses to Cincinnati. They don't have nothing to win for. Unless it's a playoff scenario where you can go in the playoffs at 8-9. But, I mean, if Bengals don't got to play for nothing, at this point, because I think Bengals are going to be one of the best teams in the league this year, just because Burrow's coming back. You know, like I've said everything back in the Bengals prediction thing. But yeah, that is the Steelers schedule. And now we are going to move on to the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, now we're with the Ravens schedule. Now, this is a kind of... Ravens, honestly, this is one of the hardest schedules, I would say. This is one of the hardest schedules for the Ravens. But starting with the NFL opener of the season at night is the Ravens at Chiefs. Okay. This is a tough game. This is the championship rematch. I'm sorry, Ravens, but I'm gonna have to go Kansas City here. It's in Kansas City. Actually, oh shoot, I forgot to say. Okay, wait, hold on. Scratch that off the board. I forgot to talk about the offseason. So the offseason, what the Ravens did, honestly, I don't know. I think the Ravens this year they're gonna have a down year. People are gonna understand it too because they lost Patrick Queen to the Steelers. I mean, lost OBJ, lost Geno Stone to the Bengals. I mean, lost J.K. and Gus to the Chargers. And yeah, they lost literally a lot of their offense and some of the defense. That's not good for the Ravens, although they did sign Derrick Henry. King Henry is here. I don't know if King Henry ain't good this year. That's a big issue because Kendall Milton, I don't think he could do everything on the field. So that's a little scary. But they also did draft Nate Wiggins. That should be a good pick on CB. That should fill in some depth for the Ravens. And they also got a lineman called lineman in the second round, Roger Rose. I'm not saying the rest of the name, but yeah, because it's all jumbled. But yeah, like I was saying about week 1, guys, I'm gonna take the Chiefs still though. I just think losing a lot of those guys is gonna hurt their season a little bit, and I think they're playoff contenders. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. Well, actually, you know what? They are Super Bowl contenders still, just because they got Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers, and they still got Mark Andrews, but they got Rashad Bateman to deal with again, and they got Devin Duvernay to deal with again. So it's kind of like they ran into the same situation, except they got Zay Flowers and Derrick Henry. So yeah, and they lost a lot of players, like badly. So the next game is the Raiders at Ravens. Also, let me quickly point out that when I predict these ain't actually accurate predictions. These are just based off record-wise for me. To me, I'm just saying it like how I think their season could go. It could, not going. That's the thing. I mean, these are final predictions, obviously. The records are the final predictions of the season. I will say that. Well, when I predict some of these games, okay, let's say, for instance, I say Ravens win this game. But a while back, I think I said Bengals won the game. So it's just based off prediction. All these ain't going to be right. So just point that out right now so nobody says something like, oh, you said this team was going to win, but you said this team was going to win. Yeah, that's not happening. I'm just saying it based off what I think. I mean, there's so many games. You can't predict every single one. Like, you have to be a genius. Or one of those NFL people. But yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens here to bounce back from the Chiefs and win that game. Next game we got is Ravens at Cowboys. This is actually a really good matched up game here. I think Ravens are going to win this game too. I think Dak Prescott is starting to show some colors here. But he's not bad, though. He's not bad. It's just he's bad in the playoffs. That's it. I mean, honestly. I mean, man can't even he couldn't even complete a pass in the first half of that Green Bay game. But yeah. Bills at Ravens. I think I'm going to take the Ravens here. I don't like... Now, the thing about the Bills this year, I like Keon Coleman. That is a huge pick. But you got to understand, Josh Allen can only do so much on the field. I mean, obviously, yes, Josh Allen. Everybody's saying Josh Allen's going to be him. But we all know what happens. He starts getting panicky and he starts throwing interceptions. That's just not good. He needs an actual receiver core. He's got Curtis Samuel, but I think Curtis Samuel's kind of washed. Obviously, they got Khalil Shakir. We know he's a monster on the field. And we also know he's got Dalton Kincaid. So I don't think they're going to be all terrible, but I also do think they're going to be on offense. So I'm going to take the Ravens here to beat the Bills. I think the Bills are going to be like an 8-9, 9-8 team. I don't think they're making the playoffs. Sorry, Bills fans, you're not winning the division this year. That's for sure. But then again, Stephon Diggs didn't do anything really in the second half of the season, and they still made it to 11-6. So who knows? We might see a better outcome than what everybody's expecting. And then we got the Ravens at Bengals. Okay, I'll give the Ravens the win here. Like I said, I did take the Bengals or Ravens to win here. And then, okay, upset game right here. Washington beats Baltimore. That's an upset game right there. It's just because I think Jaden Daniels is going to win a couple games for Washington. I think they're probably going to win 7 games this year. And some of these games are going to be against tough teams like the Ravens. So I think Washington wins the Maryland battle. Ain't both teams in Maryland? I forgot. I'm dumb, okay? I kind of forgot. Yeah, I think they are, but yeah, I think Washington wins the Maryland battle. And they gotta go travel the Buccaneers. Now, Buccaneers are kind of underrated. Mike Evans, everybody remembers Mike Evans. Everybody forgets that Mike Evans is still a monster, and he's so consistent, even when he's getting older. I think he's just going to be a monster this year. I mean, I think the Buccaneers are going to win this game, too. They're going to go back-to-back losses here for the Ravens. They're going to go 5-3. You know, people might not like how I predict this, but, you know, it is what it is going to be. You know, they got to understand the Ravens really lost a lot of pieces, and that doesn't bring a championship to your place automatically. So, you got to have a lot of pieces to be in a championship. Then they're going to play Cleveland. I'll give Ravens a W here. I think the Browns and Ravens always like to, you know, they like to snap back at each other. And they also got the Broncos, another W there. Like I said, Bo Nix, he's a rookie. He's going to struggle early on in the season or even late in the season too. Next, you got the Bengals. Okay. See, now this is where I put the split in. You like to, you know, we don't like, they struggle beating Baltimore in Baltimore. And I think this is where they stop struggling in Baltimore and they start beating us in Cincinnati a little bit more too. So I think they split, if that made any sense. So they go 7-4. Next up, playing Pittsburgh. Okay, we'll give Ravens the L here. We'll give Ravens another L here. You know, like Pittsburgh likes to play the Ravens tough. You know, they're heavy hitters. They just like to split with the Ravens. They like to have their number too. It's kind of weird. Steelers are such a weird team, but they can't have anybody else's number. The next game we got is the Chargers game. I'll give them the W there. You know, like I said, Justin Herbert. That should be actually a fun game, though. I still like the Chargers this year. It's just their defense old, you know. They're getting older. They definitely ain't getting younger. And they lost a lot of receiving core this year. But that's going to be for the future. Oops. And then they got the Eagles. I'll give, you know what? Upset game right here. W. They get the win right there. So now Ravens get, I forgot what record we're at. Don't worry. The editing will tell us what the record is. Don't worry. They get the W here. And then they'll also get the W against the Giants. We're going to skip the bye week because, it happens with bye week. So they beat the Giants too. The Steelers, again, I think we're at 9-6, honestly. Aren't we at a 9-6 record? I think so. I'm going to give the Ravens the W here. They like to split a lot. So I'm going to give the Ravens the W. They get the win at Baltimore against the Steelers. They don't do that often. And then I'm going to have them losing to Houston. C.J. Stroud, he's going to monster. He's going to be a monster this season. I don't care. Tank Dell and Nico Collins is all he needed. He didn't even need Stephon Diggs. But they got Stephon Diggs to help a little bit. Maybe he won't be so bad in the second half of the season. But... And I got Joe Mixon. They're gonna roll with him, too. I feel like Joe Mixon is just going to turn into a... I don't know. I don't know about Joe Mixon anymore. I think he's alright for Texans. If you think they did lose Singletary, they did need him, though. They did need a running back. Because they did lose Singletary, and I think they might lose Dameon Pierce, too. In Baltimore, at Cleveland, at Baltimore. Okay, I'm going to give this to Cleveland. They like to split, like I said. AFC North rivals like to split a lot. And there you guys go. I think that's if I remember correctly, that should be a 10-7 record for the Baltimore Ravens. And everybody cannot get mad in the comments or nothing. They can't say nothing because, on paper, if you look at their... Yeah, they have... Okay, yes, they have Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. Or, well, Mark Andrews, I should say. But we don't know about Rashad Bateman still up to this point. And Devin Duvernay. OBJ and... What else was it? Who else was there at Baltimore? Wasn't there somebody else? Man, I don't remember. It's so hard to remember things, but, yeah. I think Baltimore just slips into the playoffs and makes it into the playoff again. They're still going to be a contender in the playoffs. And that is the end of this AFC North prediction, guys. I know it's probably going to be a long video after I get this crap edited. It's probably going to be an hour long, but, yeah, guys, this is the AFC North predictions. The AFC South predictions will be coming out soon. We'll probably get some Plants vs. Zombies out for you guys next still. So, enjoy, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. Hope you guys liked the predictions. The records, remember, guys, the games ain't really the predictions. It's really just, it comes down to the record. So, that's the end of this video, guys. Peace out. Have a good day. And... yeah, that's it. Bye, guys.